here. What we have to do is find a way to make sure that you can get right with the law, and we've got to do this in a good way so that the rug doesn't get pulled out from under you and your family gets separated. That's the way we feel, and that is exactly what our new incoming president has stated he wants to do.
And 9 months after Paul Ryan said to Angelica, "I hope your future's here," the president pulled the rug out from under DACA beneficiaries by ordering an end to the program on March 5th of this year. Angelica Villalobos and her daughter Destiny will join us next.
If you're worried about, some deportation, force coming on, knocking on your door this year, don't worry about that.
Joining us now, Angelica Villalobos and her daughter Destiny. And it's been a year since you heard Paul Ryan tell you not to be worried about that knock on the door. Are you worried about that knock on the door tonight?
Definitely.
And when you watched what happened in the United States Senate over the weekend in this ongoing fight for DACA, realizing that the fight is now going to resume with the February 8th deadline, March 5th being the deadline for the program, what is your, how optimistic are you, how pessimistic are you about this outcome?
As being Mexican, I can tell you that I hope is the last thing that we lose. So I'm definitely hoping that something will get done. As far as how do I feel when I see things happening like it did just this weekend, where they're playing, literally it looks like it's playing a game. So it's very scary at times because you don't know what to expect from Congress, and obviously they think it's a game by making us choose whether we want one thing or the other.
Destiny, you're 10 years old, you're in the 5th grade, you're learning an awful lot about politics and government for a 5th grader. If you could talk to Paul Ryan again tonight, or President Trump, what would you tell them about your mother's situation?
I would ask them why. Paul Ryan, as I've heard my mother say many times, he said not to worry, but right now he's not doing anything.
Angelica, it seems a little worse than not doing anything on Paul Ryan's side. He has members of the House Representatives on his side saying they absolutely do not want to make any steps on DACA during this budget deadline.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, he did say that we should not be worried and that they did not have a deportation force coming out knocking our door, but it is happening. It has happened over the last year since I, got to ask him the question. I think that he needs to really think about what he said, because technically he made a promise. He said that I should not be worried about, which this is not the case. And by him obstructing to bring the DREAM Act to the floor for a vote, I mean, I think definitely he is not, meeting up to, he's not meeting the promises that he made.
Destiny, do you and your family talk about what might happen if DACA expires and they do try to deport your mother?
Well, we try not to, but it always ends up coming up around some point.
And Angelica, is there a family plan? Is there a plan B if something like this happens?
Definitely it is. I hope it doesn't come to that, but we have talked about, my oldest daughter will be 18 in August, and we talked about making her the legal guardian of the children in case something were to happen to me and their dad. Pretty much make her grow up at 18 and take care of what us as a parents should be taking care of, and she needs to only worry about school, but right now is both of the things, thinking about her moving to college this next fall, and also thinking about whether she would need to stay in the state to take care of her sisters.
Destiny, has any of this experience given you any thoughts about what you want to do when you grow up?
No, not really.
Fifth grade, you have plenty of time to figure it out. Angelica and Destiny Villalobos, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Angelica and Destiny Villalobos get tonight's last word. The 11th hour with Brian Williams starts now.
Breaking tonight on the Russia